All right, good morning and welcome to another edition of Bakersfield Business Partners podcast. It's Friday, October 8th. My name is Duncan Harris. I'm the owner of Insurance Savings Group and I'm the president of Bakersfield Business Partners. And here with me today is Javier Lesaca. Javier, how you doing?
Great, Duncan. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for coming. So Bakersfield Business Partners is a networking group. We meet on a weekly basis and we really help to grow each other's businesses through referrals and also through education and relationships. And so we started a podcast really to highlight some of the fantastic members that we have. So that's why Javier's here. Javier, tell me a little bit about what you do and maybe about yourself.
Okay, Javier Lesaca. I own Lesaca Landscape Company here in Bakersfield, California. Second generation. My dad started the business back in 1974 as a gardening business. I grew up in it. Found a love for plants and landscaping. Went off, got my degree at Fresno State, plant science. Thought I was going to be a grower. That's what I really wanted to do, is work in the nursery industry, growing plants, which I did for a few years in Fresno and in Southern California. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, decided to come back to Bakersfield, and my dad and I started the business. Soon after I came back, I got my contractor's license. A C-27, which is a landscape contractor's license. And so, yeah, now 30 years later, I'm a landscape contractor.
Still going.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So landscape contractor, are you out there, pushing the lawnmower every day, or are you, tell me what you're doing exactly.
Yeah, we do. We're design, build, and maintenance. So
okay.
we'll design it, we build it, and then we maintain it. And our kind of focus is on the design build side is mostly custom residential.
Okay.
But on the maintenance side, we do commercial maintenance.
Commercial.
Yeah. We do some residential, but usually it's tied to a commercial property. So that's kind of our niche there is on both ends. Yeah. So
usually I ask people how they got started, but for you were probably riding around the back of your dad's truck.
Yeah.
Moving equipment since.
I was mowing yards.
I mean, how old were you?
12? 12. I think 12, 14. My dad, we weren't working. We were just running around, my brother and I. But
yeah,
my dad would take us out. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Keep us out of trouble.
And so you started working, and at a young age, maybe that felt like chores. I know to me, like my dad would force us to get out and hoe the weeds and stuff. But did you enjoy it at a young age? Or did you...
Probably not. No, I don't remember really enjoying it too much. But as things change, and then I don't know. Just like I say, I kind of fell in love with the plant part of it.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it'd be a good career. So I just kind of bounced around until I figured it out.
Sure. Yeah. So your dad, was he also doing the design, build, maintenance, or was he just more of like a maintenance?
My dad was just a gardener. It was him and one helper at times. Back in the 70s, most of the gardeners in town were Bass gardeners. Mm-hmm. And so my dad was one of the Bass gardeners. Mm-hmm. And and he got that job because he had lost his job. And so he just started gardening because his buddies were doing it. So that's how that got started. Yeah.
So you go away to college. You decide, hey, I'm going to be in the landscaping industry. But you come back. You were at where, nurseries, or you doing?
Yeah, at that time I worked for Color Spot Nursery down in Rolling Heights. I was growing poinsettias, mums. I was a cultural manager there, so I kind of ran whatever. We just I was overall health of the plant material, make sure fertilization, chemical applications. I ran all that.
And then, you come back to Bakersfield, you decide to partner up with your dad. But what I don't know, what motivated you to make that shift from, just gardening to really installing new landscapes and designing and building custom landscapes?
I didn't like the day-to-day gardening. You do the same thing every day. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted to break it up. And, you got to be diverse in any business. I saw my business, there's good days and bad days, and some things. So you have to be diverse. You're a little bit financially a little better off. Yeah.
So you've been doing it for a little while, 30 years, and how many guys do you have working for you?
I have about 10 guys working for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably a solid team of vendors and partners that help you design and build
that, and vendors, partners, and a trade association. I'm really involved in California Landscape Contractors Association.
Okay.
And that's been really important on the business side, because on the trade side, like most people that grow up, they know the trade,
Okay.
but it's the business side that we kind of struggle on. So that's been really helpful for me.
And that's the California Landscape
Contractors
Association.
Yeah, we call it CLCA. Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, you're probably learning a lot in there, everything that's going on. You guys meet on a regular basis?
We have a local chapter, then we have a state chapter. I'm gotten real involved in the state level. I was actually state president back in 2015. Yeah.
So you said you're primarily doing like new construction for custom houses. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what sets you apart? There's lots of other contractors here in Bakersfield, obviously landscape contractors. I mean, what do you think, maybe sets you apart from some of your competition?
My experience, education, honesty. I mean, if we see something that's not going to work for a project that we know in the past hasn't worked, we'll bring it up to the client and tell them, listen, I know you have this vision, but it's going to have to be tweaked because maybe it's not going to work. And we try to plan for the future. Some people just don't have the budget to do a whole landscape. So we'll try to help them to try to say, hey, okay, we got to do this first before we do that. And just be real honest with them and be upfront and try to give them as best value we can for what they can afford.
Where other companies are, they're just selling whatever's on the plan.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I've seen people just grab plant material, throw it in the ground,
throw it in,
and they're not really knowledgeable about plant material. I'm pretty knowledgeable. I'm a certified arborist. I know plant material by botanical names.
You're a big plant nerd.
And I'm always looking for new stuff. So if I see new stuff, or if we travel around, we see something, nurseries come up with new plant material, we think it's going to work in this area, because our environment is pretty, not unique, but it's hot and it gets cold. So we have a palette of plant material that works well here. And some people say, "Oh yeah, I want to plant this, that." It may not work, and I'll be honest with them because we do give warranties on our plant material. I don't want to replace it. So
you warranty the plants you're putting in the ground.
Yeah, we warranty 3 months. If we always put a soil prep package in there, which we amend the soil, organic material, and other materials. That'll help the plant material kind of take off. If they take that, we extend the warranty. Yeah.
Can you give me some other examples of maybe something that the customer or client really wants, but where you see long term that's not going to work out?
A lot of times it's trees.
Right.
Trees.
I was thinking trees. Yeah.
Trees. Some people have ideas of these trees they want and where they want them. And yeah, maybe at Fine, you can see it all over town where a tree is planted, maybe real close to a house. Maybe at that time it was like a 5-gallon or 50-gallon bucket. Looks so small and cute. And then 5, 10 years later, 20 years later, they're tearing this tree out because it's encroaching on their house or their concrete or something like that. So that's a good example. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, what's kind of the ideal customer for you? Is it the home builder? Is it the person who's just bought a house? I mean, tell me who you're working with.
Yeah, it varies. We work for a couple builders. A lot of our work is homeowners. A lot of our work is renovation work. Maybe people have just lived in a house for a long time. Maybe they did their own landscaping for what they could afford, and now they maybe paid off their house and realize, okay, we can do something now more special. And so we come in and do a renovation, which we keep some of the mature material, maybe do some different hardscapes, and kind of make it change it, make it update it. Yeah, that's about a lot of our work right now.
What's kind of like the most common theme, or what's the trend in landscaping right now?
Xeriscape right now.
Xeriscape,
which is drought tolerant.
Low water.
Low water. And we do a lot of them. We won an award a few years back for one we did for the state. Our state association has an award program. We won something for a Xeriscape we did. And that's the most of the calls we get. People want to, reduce their lawn, reduce their water use, reduce their maintenance somewhat, like that. Yeah.
Are there tax credits for that to take out lawns and
on the
and
last
do that kind of
the
stuff?
last drought around 2015 there were, and there's some out there, but not and there were rebates more than anything.
Okay.
And they were through the local water agency. There's still some Cal Water has a program for like replacing nozzles and controllers, but there's not a lot out there. We'll see what next year when if this drought continues, maybe they'll start putting in some more of those programs.
So, someone invests some money into their landscape and they're going to go from maybe a traditional, I don't know, big lawn landscape to like a xeriscape. So they're going to, do you have any numbers on what they might save on water? Or, you're probably switching everyone to drip system.
Everything's going to drip.
It's probably covered with mulch.
Yeah. All new construction, you won't see any spray system except maybe in a lawn. In new construction too, you're limited to 25 square feet. 25% of the landscape can be lawn on new construction.
What did it used to be? Maybe 20 years
All
ago.
you want.
It was
wall to wall.
like just wall to wall lawn.
Wall to wall. Now with the new state requirements and the ordinances, they're limited to you
to 25%.
Yeah, on new construction.
So if I'm a young family and I got kids, they're going to run all over the lawn or whatever. Are they going to tear up that 25% postage stamp, or you guys make it work?
They do that. They do. It happens a lot. But if you're buying a new track home, with limited grass, people tend to plant more. But people are a lot more conscious about water and being more sustainable. You hear it a lot more than you did, 5-10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Things are changing. Yeah.
Do you think they're changing in a good way?
Yeah, I think so. We're limited to how much water we have, and people still want a beautiful landscape.
Right.
And I think that's kind of separated us. Another thing that may have separated us was we were willing to find those ways to change the landscapes and make them beautiful, and try to save people's water and maintenance too. Mowing our lawn, you got to mow it every week. It doesn't go away. Or if you have a nicely planted yard with no lawn, you're touching it maybe once a month, really, if you plant it right properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So, what advice would you give to like a potential customer or someone who's maybe thinking about, updating their landscape? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Do some research, go look at plant landscapes, take pictures, do as much homework as you can beforehand, before you call us, and get a vision of what you think you want your landscape to end up to be. And then on our end, we always recommend doing design, we always try to keep some of the major, if we're doing a renovation project, we try to keep as much of the existing plant materials we can, so we're just not ripping everything out looks new. So that's a lot. People call me and they want all these ideas, and sometimes my ideas don't blend with their ideas. That's why I always ask them, do some homework. Go to Houzz is a great site.
Houzz.
Yeah, HOUZZ.com. People use Pinterest, things like that.
Right.
Just kind of open your eyes, look around. Yeah.
And you're probably putting in, nice water features and seating areas and stuff.
Yeah, water features are cool. I think, to me, every landscape should have a water feature. Just the sound of water bouncing around. It's just soothing, relaxing, Lighting, landscape lighting, people don't think about that, because the landscape, that extends the time you can spend in your yard in the evenings with some nice lighting, outside lighting up some of the bigger trees and elements and sidewalks, and that really, it adds a lot.
What about like fire pits? You guys install those?
Yeah, fire pits. Here in Bakersfield, our window's short, but I have one in my backyard. I love going out there, turn that thing on, and just relax. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so fortunate here in Bakersfield. You really can live outside almost all year long.
Yeah. There's a summer times can be brutal, but starting right now, October.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's beautiful outside.
Yeah,
it's beautiful outside. Yeah.
So what is the best part about your job?
Best part of the job is just creating stuff. Watching it grow. Going back to projects, years later, and watch them how they matured. We plant stuff. A lot of things are just small. Trees are small. It's 5-10 years down the road. I got a call the other day, a client that we did a backyard in Old Stockdale. And they called me, hey, we want to just do a refreshing. I'm looking forward to go back and look at that job because it's been 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And like that. I get a kick out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be fun to go back, do some repeat business and see your customers and see their trees, I suppose.
Yeah, all the plant material, how it does. And I can see, what worked, what didn't work. Maybe something we did, it didn't work. Okay, well, we can kind of tweak it, and that, we're not perfect, but we, so we're always trying to find the best methods. Yeah.
One thing I think maybe people underestimate is just the value of a good landscape. So you did my mom's backyard. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And before I can vaguely remember what it was before, but it was just, I don't know, it seemed junky to me. There was like these old railroad ties out there that they had made like a patio on. And now, and I know she did a design too. And now, even from when you're inside the house, you look out and there's a fountain and then there's the seating area and it's kind of framed with plants and flowers. Yeah. And it's so nice. And then when you walk out, everything's just so nice and you just want to be there. It's so comfortable to just spend time out there and and just be outside.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here, they go to Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone wants to go to Disneyland, and I feel like a lot of people are there just to look at the flowers and the bushes.
Sure.
Because it's so well maintained.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of examples in California where you can go look at landscapes, and some of them don't take that much maintenance because they've been properly installed and spaced. Plant material is properly spaced and and then you think, oh wow, that's always looks nice. Well, it was probably done.
Sure.
It was originally installed the way it would create less work for you.
Yeah. So that kind of leads me to a good question. Like, what's your favorite landscape? What do you really like?
I prefer a real free flowing, natural growing landscape. I don't like
low maintenance.
Low maintenance, not a lot of straight lines. I'd like the things just mature and just don't have to go back and touch it again. Really, very solid. Yeah, you have a seasonal times where you have to go back there and thin things out, clean things up. But I just like a nice free flowing, natural look. Yeah.
So here in Bakersfield, what are some of those plants that allow you to have that low maintenance yard?
They all work. It just depends how you plant them, how you space them. People I go to people's homes. Yeah, we just want like a 3-foot flower bed. Well, there's very little things that grow 3 feet.
Okay.
We want something at least 5 foot wide minimum, because then we can plant some things, let things grow naturally, and you don't have to touch them as much. But anything that's smaller than 5 feet is tough. And people want grass, and if you have kids and stuff, I can understand that. But I think you could do a little bit of grass and more beds. Anything to reduce your maintenance.
So maybe that's really the hard part about your job is, you're trying to sell a vision 10 years down the road, and these clients, these people, they kind of want something that looks great right now, today.
Everybody wants instant,
right?
Instant, and we can give them instant, but sometimes instant's more expensive.
Yeah,
because we're talking about bigger plant material, and so it can be more expensive sometimes.
Well, you're happy to do that. Just raise the rates and
and that's another thing that I tell people is know your budget, because we'll get a call. Well, we don't know what things cost. I understand what you don't know. I understand that you don't know things what cost, but you should know what you can afford. Mm-hmm. And so in Bakersfield, from what I see, most licensed contractors, we're all paying for the same. We're paying the same for the plant material. We're paying the same for irrigation materials. Everything's, our costs don't vary. I mean, we're talking pennies, really. Our labor's the same. Mm-hmm. So, to give a price is kind of hard, but you should know how much you can afford, and then try to go, okay, I can afford this, but my vision's, that. Well, let's try to maximize your dollars. And then just 3 years down the road, we'll do some more or keep adding to it.
Do it like in 2 or 3 phases.
Right.
Got it. So what else? What else should I be asking? What else do I need to know about the landscape business?
A plan ahead, because right now we are. I mean, everybody I know is backed up for 3-4 months.
So it's Friday. You're telling me you can't start on Monday at my house?
Probably not.
Oh man.
For you, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
For you,
All
yeah.
right, good. I got to work on my budget then.
Plan ahead. If you've got a goal, if you've got a party, or if you got an event,
So that's why people are calling you. They're going to have a huge wedding in their backyard or something, and they're saying, "Oh, hey, Javier, come out next month."
I had a call the other day. They were having a wedding 3 weeks from when they called me. Mm-hmm. I couldn't help them. I don't know who could.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit.
And so plan ahead, and that planning in that if you have an event or just a landscape design, put together a landscape design for your ultimate landscape, or what you really want with everything in it, and then from there we can start building on that, depending on your budget.
Yeah, everything's kind of backed up right now. We're waiting on computer chips and everything else. So how long did you say? 3 months?
We're like 3 months out right now. Yeah.
And then to redo a landscape, how, I don't know, the front yard, how long is it torn up? A week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it depends on the job. Most of them are, 2-3 weeks from start to finish, So yeah, we just started one last week. We applied some herbicide to kill off the lawn last week. We'll probably start another week from now. And then once we get in there, we're done another 10 days. So it all varies.
Now, you've got some cool stuff on the maintenance side that you've told me about that really gives you a lot of control, where you've kind of integrated technology with just traditional sprinklers and plumbing and stuff. I mean, kind of talk about how you manage some of your commercial maintenance clients.
Yeah, we do. We try to use smart controllers, which are Wi-Fi enabled and have apps, so we can, we'll get a call. Hey, this we have a couple of properties that have hydro systems, so we can it'll send us notifications if the water's running too long, or if there's a large volume of water, it'll turn it off. We can make adjustments if they say, hey. We can, if it looks a little dry from my phone, we can do it instead of driving out to the site. We set parameters like today there was a chance of rain, not really, so it wouldn't affect it today.
It never rains in Bakersfield.
Exactly. But if we set it up so if there's a 70% chance of rain, it turns off the irrigation.
It'll turn off the water.
So, yeah, saving water. We have other parameters where if it gets hotter than say 100 degrees, well, it'll increase it by 30%. So there's a lot of ways we can make an adjustment on the irrigation without having to go every day to the controller or every month, whatever. But
I mean, that's nice for the client. I mean, they just call you or send you a text like, "Hey, we got a problem spot," and then you can kind of manage it from wherever you're at.
A lot of times, it'll send me. I won't even know. It'll send me a notification saying something's up as far as flows or not coming on, or if the power went out. Mm-hmm. It'll send me a notification. We could take it, and the homeowner doesn't even know, or the client doesn't know.
Commercial clients, maintenance, are we talking like office buildings? Are we talking warehouses? Like,
we anything commercial, office. We do some dairies.
Yeah,
I consider that commercial, but they have landscapes out there too in the country. So anything along that line, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, you've been I don't know, a friend of mine for a long time, but how long have you been in B&I, in Bakersfield Business Partners?
And I know you're going to ask me that question, and I started doing the math. I think it's well over 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think I joined in 2010, 2011.
Okay. Well, it was...
Around that time?
Is it? Yeah. Maybe it's been over 10 years then. I base it on my kids, and my kids are already... I mean, it was like they were in junior high. Now they're both got careers.
I think they have a house and jobs. They
got houses and jobs now. So
that makes you what, old?
Older.
I mean, so you've been a partner and a member of Bakersfield Business Partners for a long time.
Yeah.
Tell me how it's helped you and tell me what it means to you.
Oh yeah, BNI. It's funny. When I was looking for a networking group, mm-hmm. and I kind of filled out something online or something through BNI and didn't hear anything. And then somebody, it was David Coburn.
Yep, I remember David.
David, yeah. He called me about a landscape job, looking at his house. And then he happened to ask me, how do you market yourself? How do you network? And I go, just word of mouth, this and that. So, you ever thought about joining a network group, BNI? I go, wow, that's funny. I just this week I was looking for something like that.
Really?
Come look at our group. Can you want to visit our group? I go, yeah, sure. So my intentions were when I went to the group, went to the two meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I go, okay, I'm going to join this group, and I thought I'm going to do it for a year, 2 years, and then
Right.
I'll finally leave and go join another group.
Right.
Do that.
Move on. Yeah.
But I realized that this group, after this year, I go, wow, this is the best group in Bakersfield. It's got everybody is trying to help each other, not just in business, but education, the things I've learned. I mean, like I said earlier, as a contractor, you know how to do the trade. Contractors fail because they don't know the business end.
Right.
That's where they fail. And so this has just opened my eyes to so many things. People in our group are just so giving and of their knowledge of how they run their businesses. It's helped me tremendously.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you've probably gotten a few referrals along the way.
A lot
I
of
would
referrals,
imagine.
A lot of referrals, some nice jobs from inside and outside our group. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I just know our group in particular, the individuals that attend are just good people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everyone's
Yeah.
so helpful, and it's really like, okay, you know, Javier tells me every day, every week, you know, I hear this and that. And then you finally realize, oh, okay, my aunt needs help with this. And
yeah, you feel you trust, you build this trust, and you know that, you know, you tell someone that I have someone that can help you. And it's honest referral. I mean, you really, you know, because you used them for one, you know, I've used you, a lot of people in our group for different things.
well, good deal. Well, Javier, thanks again.
Yeah.
I think this kind of wraps up our podcast. Again, we're Bakersfield Business Partners. I'm Duncan. This is Javier. We meet every Tuesday morning at 7:30, and we're just helping each other grow our business through referrals, education, and relationships. So glad to have you, and glad you can make it.
Thanks, Duncan. You're good at this.
Thanks. I'm trying. So I've got my note cards here that really help me out. But,
All right. Thanks again.
all right. Take care.
Bye.